Listen, we all follow you on social media, man. You have been enjoying that mountain life in Colorado for the last 7 months. Thank you for prying yourself away from there. How does it feel to be playing live music again?
It's so good. It's great to be back in Nashville. Haven't been in a while, and to see all the guys in the band and our crew and everyone here at iHeartCountry, and just the stage and this great fan wall, and seeing the reaction here in the seeing fans has probably been the coolest thing, right? Just there's people I recognize in that fan wall, and hearing their voices, seeing their faces. That's just been so nice. Everyone's still out there. They're still waiting. They're still ready for all of us, and so I'm just so appreciative to have the chance to be here. Talk to you too.
And I appreciate that. I was going to ask you about that Capital One fan wall. It's the first time in probably 7, almost 8 months that you can actually look into somebody else's eyes, virtually at least, and see their reaction to your music. How does that make you feel?
It's awesome. During this time, there's been a lot of talk about different ways to do this. People are doing concerts on social media. They're doing some of these drive-through car drive-in shows, and I've kind of held back and just really worked on just creating music. Just trying to write songs and work on production and ideas and all that, and just knowing one day hopefully we're gonna get back out there on the road. But this has been the Capital One fan wall is the best way to do this. It's like, obviously you don't want to do this for ever. Hopefully it's just the one summer we're doing this, but what a great way to interact for us as artists with fans, and for those fans to feel like as much as possible they're part of something special. They're not just watching a concert, they're part of a festival that'll air, that they're going to see themselves on, and hear new songs. And like, we played a new song on there, and see all our artists do their top 4 or 5 songs. It's a really great way of doing this. And everyone in my band and crew was blown away by the whole feeling of being in there. It felt the most like a live show it can possibly feel like during this time.
There aren't many artists that can say, like, you could start a Dierks Bentley playlist and end up 3.5 hours later still adding more songs. You have so many phenomenal songs out there. With this new music you're working on, is the creative process a little different, knowing like your band's not always together, or the world's a little different right now? Like, what are you pulling from to create the new music?
It's a great question, and thanks for the compliment there. I don't feel that way. I'm always so critical of my music. I'm like, no, that song, no. I wind up like 5. I actually still like at this point, but no, I do. A lot of my songs are made for a live audience, right? I don't walk around the house singing 5150, somebody called the Popo, but that does work great. The live crowd is just not one I'd sing at home. Yeah. But the creative process is hard right now, and I don't want to. I feel like every album is a step up from the one before for me. And this last album, The Mountain, I wrote the songs in Colorado. I went back out with my band and recorded them in this, on this mesa. It was a really, amazing experience. It was spiritual, and I don't want to. Just because we're in a weird time right now, I don't want to rush something out there just because we have to. I mean, I got to be honest. I'm not feeling super inspired about making a full album right now. That's why for the first time in my career, I'm just thinking about singles, like just put out songs that feel great, that are, or have something to say, and not try to create a whole project at this point, because, I think it's okay too. I think it's okay to be kind of just to take the moment to breathe, and it's a little bit longer of a breath than we all want to take. But, if you don't have something really important to say right now, then I just don't want to muddy up some of the other projects that I put out there and that did have something to say. So just been writing songs, and some of the songs are about the times we're going through. Wrote a song the other day called "What a Year," which kind of speaks for itself. And but also been just trying to write songs that don't directly talk about what we're dealing with right now, because people are trying to get out a little bit right now and enjoy this time before the winter comes. And I want just something that kind of feels like, that makes them want to jam along in the car and maybe do what country music does so well, which is help us sometimes forget what's going on around us outside that car.
Absolutely. Listen, you've been spending a lot of time outside that car. I see you on bikes. I see you hiking. You're enjoying that mountain life. Is there something about quarantine you're enjoying? Now, listen, there's enough that we're not enjoying. The lack of live music, live shows, seeing our friends. I
started a festival in Buena Vista, Colorado, because of just my love of being out, in that part of the world. That's where I'm from. And so that this would have been our third year of doing it. Like a lot of things, unfortunately, it was postponed. But I personally find a lot of, I think the older I get, I have to counter the amount of time I spend on a tour bus, on asphalt, on the road, just not doing other stuff. I have to counter that with what I would call, I guess, green time, just being around mountains and rivers and streams and being outdoors. So I've been kind of making up for lost time the last 7 months doing that, certainly with my family too. And my kids are going to school out there. I dropped my I ride bikes with my kids, and my 6th grader had a fly rod on her back the last twice this week. I mean, they go fly fishing and work on math, I guess. I'm not really concerned too much about the learning part, but I just want to have this time together, because when it does turn back on again, I will be on the road a lot. You know, I got a lot of crew guys, a lot of band guys, a lot of folks that, you know, we make a living doing this, and I miss doing it. So I know when it does turn back on again, I'll probably lean in that direction and be gone all the time. So I feel like I'm just using this time to kind of, you know, take care of what I need to take care of in my own life, and be ready to get out there and really devote myself to the road and to our fans and to our show and everything with a full heart when everything turns back on again.
Getting more time at home than normal lately. This is a dad asking a dad, right? Because all the time your kids are doing something that surprises you.
Yeah.
Are you like, how do you even know what that word means? Or how do you know how to do that? Is there something now that you've spent more time at home than normal that you're like,
oh, right,
you're a little miracle, aren't you?
These guys, I mean, they've been, you know, two of my kids are really good skateboarders now, which I was always a pretty terrible skateboarder, but these guys are dropping in on, like, in pools. My 6-year-old and my 9-year-old, just like crazy skateboarding, and good. They're really good mountain bikers now, which is awesome. They're good at hiking up, you know, a couple of 1,000 feet at the times, and camping, which they're much better at camping than I am. My truck has a nice pop-up camper on the back, which I thought I put in for my wife and I, but my kids take over that, and we have to sleep on the ground. And we're still working on that one. We've camped a lot, and neither one of us sleeps that well on the ground, but they love it. They love the lifestyle, and and sure, they both watch. My 11-year-old's gotten into TikTok. So yeah, they learn a lot through TikTok. I made them watch The Social Dilemma the other day, so they can kind of see maybe they shouldn't be on TikTok all the time, but it's hard. It's a very sticky app. But yeah, they're doing good. I feel like, you know, they miss Nashville. They love Nashville. They know we're coming back here at some point, but in the meantime, just having this great, you know, family time together, this moment in time. It's almost like having a retirement in the middle of your career as opposed to the end for me, because I plan on doing music for a while, and to have this moment now with them is pretty awesome. Knowing that, you know, hopefully in the back end of it, fans still want to hear us, and we have you know, relevant and have something to say, and we get a chance to tour again. I will not take anything about touring for granted. I cannot wait to get back out there again. But in the meantime, it's been some good family time for sure.
I want to ask you about Nashville. It's not just a place that your family calls home and you record great music. You actually have a bar on Broadway. You have, you know, you have your road crew and your band, right? But you also have a crew at right on Broadway here, right? With Whiskey Row. What has it been like for them during the pandemic? I mean, you know, I know you kind of keep your hands in on everything. What's it been like for the crew there, and for you to see that from your point of view?
It's been pretty rough for everyone down there. You know, things. It's one thing to close, and, you know, put everyone, furlough some folks, and then open back up again. But when you have to open, close, and you're at 25% capacity, now you're 50, you're 75, back to 25. It's really hard to run a business that way. It's hard to. You're either understaffed and everyone's working harder than they can, or you're overstaffed and it's terrible for the economics. So it's just rough. I hope we're on a path, like, kind of, Nashville just went to phase 3, and hopefully that it stays there at least. Yeah, I don't know. I think living in this town, I lean pessimistic, and then I'm always happy when something works out for the better. So I lean. Yeah. You don't hear my thoughts about January. It's not going to be a good play. You don't want to be. It's not going to be good. But hopefully I'm wrong. But you know, it's rough. Actually, one of the great things about the mask, which I wear, is that you can go places and no one recognizes you. So yesterday I've been riding a bike a lot. I'm just kind of on bike mode from being in Colorado. And I biked about 45 minutes back from sound check, and I went through Lower Broadway. It was great. I mean, I'm just hanging out with my fans out front of Whiskey Row. There's a line to get in, and no one recognizes me. And I just got a chance, because usually when I go down there, I'm kind of rushing in and out, and it's kind of a little crazy. Now I'm just like, I'm taking videos of the party wagons going by and sending them back to my wife, and just like, it's definitely on. I mean, fans want to come back to Nashville. They're there already, and they're just waiting for the light to turn green. But hopefully, you know, that's what makes Nashville, to me. I've always said Lower Broadway is kind of the heartbeat of Nashville. It's the pulse. It's where all the energy is. It's where all the artists that move to town want to get a gig. It's, I mean, and the quality of, like, musicians has gotten so up as Nashville's gotten more popular. I mean, just driving around down there, the people singing these bars are better than half of us on the road. So they're there, they're ready. It's just, you know, hopefully we're on an upward trajectory, and by next spring, it's opened up again and all happening.
My hope is vaccine for COVID sooner than later. Live music, Dierks Bentley back on the road sooner than later. But in the meantime, we get live music from you tonight. Thank you so much for being a part of our iHeartCountry
Thank
Festival
you.
this
Thanks
year,
for letting
man.
us come hang out, play some live music, debut a new song, and see all those beautiful fans' faces on the Capital One fan wall. It's pretty cool.